Just be it. Extreme. Just be it. Am I living my life on the edge? Am I engaged, going just beyond my accumulated ability in full stretch? Have I experienced the freedom of moving outside my level of comfort, with fear and pride fully surrendered? At this moment I meet my arrival, making my appointment with life. Just be it. Threads of insight to the art of presence. Am I engaged in this project called life? Or do I stand outside as a stranger? Are my thoughts taken with desires to impress and receive recognition, or am I following the pull of the heart? It seems my success from life comes from the discipline to set sacred intention each morning, commitment to expression of gratitude within the present moment, and the strength and courage to launch life-affirming actions each day. Within these commitments, we find the courage to surrender our fear and pride as we unite with the oneness of the universe in contribution to its healing. At this moment of synthesis, I am no longer divided in my actions. At this point, in action, I am the instrument and the elements of the action in loving gratitude for this gift of presence. Divine source of life, may all creatures find the creative heart and living contribution within this precious moment of the day. As we surrender notions of our separateness and self-importance to loving compassion and responsibility, we touch the I that remains standing when we surrender our bodies. At this moment of remembering, at this present moment of wonder, we are once again connected in loving kindness and compassion, engaged in the rhythm and harmony of life's dance. Just do what? When our phrase to action is just do it, we may be clear on the physical action, but may have failed to check alignment with our heart. In a more and more complex world filled with shades of grey, we find it critical to polish the heart in search of that which touches our spirit. Right action is activity that's attuned to the rhythm and harmony of the universe. This is the space where our doing meets our being. Physiologically, it's often helpful to first put attention to the belly. Common sense tells us to check with our gut instinct. After this, we move to the heart. Can you feel the difference when we move from just do what to just be what? As we journey to our core, beyond notions of our ego, pride, and fear, we enter the cosmic community in full belonging. In this space, we come to know taste experientially in the moment, far removed from consumptive notions tied to past and future. Within this space, we courageously live beyond needs to achieve and accomplish. We just do it, outside of ego's temptation to recognition. At this moment, we move past the division of performer and audience, rider and instrument of rider, musician and instrument of the music, naturalist and elements of nature, teacher and student, etc. This is where we touch thatness in all of its wonder and mystery, and find peace, freedom and courage to face the moment in honor to its precious unfolding. At this moment we live in the paradox that it's not about us, and it's all about us. May all creatures fill with the peace that comes from meeting our purpose. May we inspire one another to polish our hearts, carefully listening to the messages that have been placed there long ago. As we move from neurotic needs of doingness and enter our very beingness, may we all come to peace in those actions we know must be taken.
Yes. I'm not sure where I got this outline to living a life that seems to work. I know some of it comes from Jack Canfield, one of the famous authors behind the Chicken Soup for the Soul series of books. Some of it comes from lessons shared from friends and family. Some of it comes from tapes, books, lectures, and wisdom passed down from my ancestors. All of it comes from a sense of belonging and purpose. It boils down to showing up and paying attention, setting intention to stretch my actions to the extreme in quality performance, and finally, to be open to the surprise of what happens, realizing this is an area that's not in my control. What's meant by the words showing up. Thich Nhat Hanh refers to this as arrival, meeting our appointment with life. Once we understand that it's our work to show up, to engage the moment, we come to see the importance in paying attention. This is where we find the real importance to meditation and exercise, to an intention to polish our attention and care for the body, mind, and spirit. We wake to each new day as we return to consciousness each morning. The degree to which we can meet the moment is directly related to how well we can release our attachment to the baggage of yesterday. The magic of the morning is captured when we give thanks for the gift of another day. Successful living sees opportunity everywhere, and we fill with a sense of responsibility, realizing the need to meet the day in full attention, not 80% or 50% present. We come to find the need to meet the wonder of the moment in complete attention if we intend to do our best. The foundational premise of just be, it can be found in this notion of stretching to our best, to that point where we find the magical life of success. We find that it's not just about showing up and doing it, it's also about doing it the best we can, in complete gratitude for the opportunity to participate in this party we call life. Within this experience of gratitude for the opportunity to contribute, we find our healing from all those past experiences that tore away at our belonging. It's also where we find that magic space that's beyond the boundaries set by fear and pride as we open to the surprise of the moment's unfolding. In faith, we surrender to the realization that we do not control the universe. We breathe in all gifts of life in gratitude for this opportunity to affirm our belonging. At this point, we find peace and harmony. We release all anger for events that unfold so differently than what we expected. We let go all notions of disappointment that ego tends to draw us to as we give thanks for the surprise found in life's magic. We come to realize that even though we've shown up, paid attention, and done our best, quality of life is not shown from acquisition of medals, awards, material wealth, or recognition and approval from others. Rather, it's shown through the sense of completeness and contribution that's only found in the polished heart. Shown when we know we've met the divine in full gratitude for this gift of contribution, this opportunity to connect in loving kindness with all creatures. Two key elements to growing happiness and a sense of well-being: gratitude and challenge. Recent research and years of ancient wisdom have expounded upon the benefits to an attitude of gratitude. Our capacity to carry a grateful heart seems to directly correspond to our sense of well-being. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi has studied the phenomenon he calls flow and has shown how our ability to continually push ourselves into new territory, meeting new challenges in full attention, also enhances our quality of life and sense of well-being. When asked what we should be grateful for, Brother David Steindl-Rast says, "Be grateful for the gift." You ask what gift? For the gift of opportunity. It seems our sense of well-being very much relates to our ability to acknowledge all that is working, express our gratitude for the intelligence of the universe, give thanks for the opportunity to participate, and challenge ourselves to enter new territory. So much of this has to do with our capacity to meet the day in full affirmation, regardless of the troubled times we may be in. The first noble truth, as taught by the Buddha, claims our suffering comes from attachment. We can see how our healing and growth necessarily involve a focus on gratitude for the gifts that have brought us to where we are and a mental mindset of surrendering into the challenge of the moment. Our happiness and well-being seem to depend upon our ability to meet our actions in full attention and gratitude for the opportunity, no matter what our profession, job, family situation, sport, or daily activity. To the extent we fill our mind with judgment, criticism, anxiety, and stress, we rob ourselves of the glory of the moment's potential. Our capacity to meet the challenge, moving into flow experience, is crippled by these attachments. Just be it was formed from these realizations. At the highest levels of performance, where we're pushing ourselves just beyond familiar territory, what some call the extreme, we break beyond our notions of division. Our performance reaches new levels as we surrender into the action or the object of action. The ball player becomes the ball or the game being played. The boarder becomes the mountain or the wave. The bottle inspector becomes the bottle. The dying person meeting his/her last breath becomes the breath, No matter what the action, that person who can meet the moment in full attention, detached from notions of self-ego and approval need, yet filled with gratitude for the opportunity to participate, will inevitably experience increased sense of well-being. Having met the challenge of life, having the courage to meet the challenge, to stretch into new territory, and doing it with a grateful heart, seems to be a crucial component to strength of character. Too busy to be? It seems we're increasingly defining our life meaning by the amount of our busyness. American society has been lured into believing that the more we do, the happier we'll feel. Our schedules become more and more filled with activity with less and less time to relish the very moment and pause to the gift of life. Our notions of time have captured us in a sort of panic, seldom leaving us in a capacity to give full attention to the moment at hand. More and more, we seem to gain approval from others when we can relate just how busy we are. And for many, as midlife approaches and awareness of lost opportunity springs from within the heart, we come to see that our business did not bring us true happiness. Seldom are there deathbed statements wishing more time had been spent at the office. Rather, there is regret more time wasn't spent in deep attention to the family, to one's personal quiet time, or to one's community. No doubt, if we're to live successfully, there has to be a certain commitment to the actions of our day. As we craft our various life themes, our participation in life, and the opportunity to be our best, we come to pay more and more attention to messages from the heart. With deeper understanding, we come to see just how toxic our business can be as we fill with more and more activity, avoiding this very precious moment. Our increasing doingness tends to distance us from the human condition and gives us a false sense that we're in control. Yet more and more research is showing how it's our recognition of the gift of our success in living that leads to an increased sense of well-being. Happiness seems to be increasingly tied to one's capacity to say yes to the opportunities to participate in life, yet retaining full awareness and gratitude for this gift. Our capacity to do this seems to correlate directly with our mindfulness. Our mindfulness is something that can be increased dramatically through disciplined practice. Our practice is dedicated to stilling the mental chatter of our mind, to putting our fullest attention to the moment, generally moving to the breath. Breathing in, we affirm life. Breathing out, we are filled with gratitude. This practice will prove refreshing to those who've become dull or bored. It will provide a solid sense of confidence as one becomes grounded with one's very being. It will provide clarity in what is and assist in taking appropriate actions. And finally, it will show how desperately we need space in our lives. For improved quality of life, it's becoming increasingly clear that we must make space for solitude, for engaging the wonders of nature, for pausing in appreciation to the opportunity to participate in family and society. Our sense of life completeness seems to relate to our capacity to pause in full listening to set life goals aimed for maximum enjoyment while still remaining responsible to others. The sooner we can realize that well-being is fostered through honoring our beingness rather than busying ourselves in doingness, the sooner we'll be on the road to peace and harmony in our living situation. Successful living commands careful listening to the heart. Listening to the heart can only be done through providing the space for mindful awareness to the moment. Happiness results through taking action from the heart in recognition for the opportunity to contribute. A relational paradigm shift from just doing it to just being it. No matter what we're in relation to, when we smash our separation from it, we come to experience our own enhanced health through nourishing that which we're in relationship with. Consequently, in the new paradigm, the relationship is healthy when each partner realizes the absolute necessity in feeding each other's unfolding beyond notions of expectation. Sexual relations improve as we accept each other's being outside of performance and doing. The way to do is to be. Lao Tzu. Just be it. Mantra for a new millennium. The phrase, just be, it has given great happiness as it served me well in development of the art of presence. When surrendered into the moment's unfolding, there's a quality of appreciation for grace given, simplified down to each breath. The seed for the power of this mantra will be nourished throughout my time within this body. The process of surrender into the moment necessarily releases attachment to suffering as smiles are once again discovered within the gift of our very beingness. Moving beyond pretensions from accomplishments in our doingness, we discover our passions in humbly serving the universe through our gifted talents. With pure intentions to bring others to happiness, contributing to relief of suffering, we find our own happiness within the moment's unfolding action. As we become the element, the instrument, the action, whatever, our attention moves to we, travel beyond our separation, fully surrendered into each breath, released from notions of separation and duality. It now becomes easy to see how what we put attention to grows stronger. How? Intention to heal the universe through our gifted talents grows a happy heart through disciplined attention to the seeds of our passions. This arrival into presence is where we touch the rhythm and harmony of the universe, surrendered past notions of time and space, in full humor to ego's tricks, judgment cast to the wind in discovery of our freedom to just be it.